Texas, Tennessee, Georgia, New Mexico, the Dominican Republic, and Greece. Meet builders and community experts, compare destinations.
The love of my life.
And hardened criminals. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem announcing 10,000 criminal migrant arrests in Minneapolis, including 3,000
Impressions are always
the
very
streets in the last 6 weeks.
That's
President Trump doing a little show and tell of his
enjoy
handiwork. Watch.
I
oh,
can show
good.
you some of the
Everything else good?
people,
Oh, good.
vicious,
Is it cold
many
there?
of the murderers.
It's
These are
freezing
all out of
here.
Minnesota, just Minnesota.
Uncle's not even riding his bike because it's too cold.
Things that we, all the time that we
Okay.
spend talking about.
Everything
Minnesota
else is
and everything
good.
else.
Hey there. Good evening. Afternoon, that monitor. Hi.
Mitch, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you? I was at the DPW when
Oh, yes.
they were ordering tons and tons of salt because of a snowstorm that we're getting
Yeah,
this weekend. We're supposed to get like 1.5 feet over Sunday, Monday,
I believe
and
it.
Tuesday.
Oh, yeah? If we get that, that'd be insane.
Yeah, because it's just a long storm, so I wouldn't doubt it.
I don't know, I tell my wife how happy I am we live at the shore because all my kids live inland, all of them, and they're always getting 5 and 8 inches when we're getting a dusting.
Yeah.
So, I guess turnabout is fair play. Maybe we'll get the heavy snow, I don't know.
Every few years, when a storm comes up the coast, we get 30 inches here.
Yeah. Like you say, not often, but yeah. Oh my God. I have no idea how we're gonna bear with this special parking permit thing. It just keeps
Oh,
evolving. No, I mean, right
is
now,
it on it's taken off?
no, it's on.
Okay.
But little edits are very minor, very minor. Shauna gave me a call. I'm like, Shauna, I saw that like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. We'll just change the meeting.
Okay. Hello there. Where's everybody?
Must be the early start.
An early start.
People are finishing up dinner or something. I don't know.
Right.
It's like different temperature. That's something to do with the thing.
It's funny, I was leaving the office here. For me, I put in a longer day. I was leaving around 4:30. Thinking the meeting was at 6:30 and I stopped in to say goodbye to Erica. She goes, see you soon. And all of a sudden it hits me. I'm like, oh my God. You got a 5:30 start. Hey, buddy.
Hey,
Hey,
How are
Lauren.
you?
how are you?
Good, I have a presentation, and Michelle recommended bringing the thumb drive.
Yeah, are you able, are you tech savvy? You can,
Oh
Share
yeah,
it with
in this
Zoom?
machine,
Yeah.
or, yeah, I can do
yeah,
that
cause
too.
that's where we have the Zoom also, so,
So is it better for me to share it?
yes. I don't think you want me touching
I would-
it.
How are you?
I'm good, thank
I
you.
would, I would just join the Zoom and share.
Oh.
As long as you can make, as long as you can make her a presenter, then you can share right through the Zoom meeting.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
This way you've got your own.
Yeah.
Hi there.
There, how are you?
Good, thank you. You know, this. Fine, some blocks. That'll work. I don't even know she's coming. I don't have a phone number or anything, so.
Noticed that there are a lot of street lights that are on Main Street. Because I saw on the north end, the lights were on, but between Brindley and Lorraine. Street lights weren't on. It was just very dark, you know, in this light.
I believe you.
Yeah.
But I have not noticed.
I noticed I had a street light out. I put in the thing, because basically the.
I mean, you heard anything from them?
No.
This is on Main Street. I mean, the lighting at this hour. It's just, you couldn't even really see the people crossing the street.
I wish I just.
Buy that passport?
Yeah.
That's okay.
No, I don't.
No, I know. I mean, they're on time though.
It's like being a homeowner, people that, you know, you're that the bus is like really.
Don't tell,
I'll get to it.
don't tell you, tell Ann.
Right. I only wish I could defer on my, the sign on my special stand. I'll take sign on.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
This is from Archie Tree.
Okay.
I have all the accomplishments of 2025. The one just did it recently, and I'm just bragging about them. So.
No, let's do it.
In your free time, you can put together a business. Anything is boring. Never. Oh, never, right?
Someone signed.
Was that?
Are you gonna forge this?
You'd like
one
to see
too?
that.
Are you gonna forge for fun?
That's fine.
I'm the only one holding on to this.
Just so you have to sign.
Hey, gang, how you doing?
Oh.
What that basically is
Oh.
every year when you
Yeah.
watch, you know,
How many?
you just have to sign that acknowledging, you saw it, you looked at it. You read it over, it doesn't necessarily mean that you agree with it.
Okay. Well, I'd have to do my own audit if I did, but.
The state just likes to know that I gave it to you and you acknowledged it.
Did you see the fixes?
Yes, it's already in my.
I figured as much, but
Blood drive?
yeah,
Is that something that's?
nope, not to us, just the measurements. It's just like a little.
Amy asked if you could read that right now.
Oh, yeah, please.
Or change, whoever. She's going to get really good cookies this time.
It's like, yeah, it's from like a counter.
Bakery
There was
cookies.
the note in the incident here, but I read it at the committee.
Oh.
But it's a blood drive, out of the firehouse to the latest.
Oh, nice.
Did
you tell you-
Reports usually 3-page form.
No.
Mine is.
Well, if it is, then Jane's gonna call you. I already called meeting. I already called them today too, so you're not
Yeah.
that special.
I got it through.
I'm also doing calls too, so.
That counts.
Oh, okay.
1.5
So-
pages.
Did she tell you that they're gonna have special treats this time? Like from local bakeries for cookies, stores? For what? They're gonna have a sweet treat,
Let's try.
sweet treat card. Yeah. Well, we'll save that for next time.
And,
When is the blood drive?
On Friday.
He's got
February
really
17th.
To.
February 17th.
Yeah, well, I have the
Good.
Thursday report, I have the police report,
Okay.
I have the new committee
So I'm
report.
glad that yours is gonna be longer.
All of you guys, this version.
I gotta go see.
Hey, Jane. Hang on.
You're gonna sign.
Anna, excuse me, this is really important, guys.
Yeah, if it's 6 and 8, it's just.
They'll take it.
I don't want to.
Is that for something
What
special?
was that for?
So,
Every meeting?
Oh, it's like that.
No, have my glasses on.
it used to be a shirt.
Jane didn't have her glasses on.
I got cataract surgery and I got new lenses put in because I'm ancient.
Wow.
If you don't need glasses anymore for anything, I'm like the bionic woman, basically. Yeah. Hey, chief, how's it going?
Cheers.
Yes.
Jane, you get this, the version.
Yes.
Special.
Yes,
There's a couple of minor edits that Sean gave her.
And I can,
You can mention.
I'll mention them. Those are edits that we can,
Yeah.
because, I mean,
Yeah.
my second, one, we didn't respond to. Because
I saw it.
right, was that,
Wait, I did. That's the one I said we can do it tonight.
right, but the second one, I just wanted to ask you, was about multiple, permits.
Yeah.
for multiple vehicles, but
This
it's
is-
fine in the event that there's, to take that line out.
I did, yeah.
Okay, so you agree with that?
Yeah, and I said we could do it tonight.
Okay, yeah, you did.
Okay, good.
Multiple vehicles will pay. If there are a few different categories, yeah, that are particular.
right, and then, you know how many times, how many people are actually doing it, like, but very few.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but we should.
There was a contradictory statement, there's an old statement. One vehicle gets a sticker, and Sean appropriately pointed out, it's possible more than one vehicle could get a sticker. So.
Right.
It's just, well, I guess, we'll,
Right,
we'll,
that's
a
fine.
sticker in that case, we forward here.
No, they'll have to put a sticker in each.
Okay.
And a plaque.
Yeah.
Have to share the plaque.
Yeah.
It's not absolutely.
Yeah.
This long.
527.
We can get them in. Did you get a computer? Did the office give you a computer? They gave me, I don't love it. I only use it for meetings. My laptop, the battery goes very quickly.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
Which is holding that along, which is really something. Actually, physically sense my
Oh, boy. Reports are just gonna be.
It just keeps going. What is that for? Oh.
Bill's coming, Matt is not.
That's not coming?
That is.
So I guess I can ask the man about the MEA, that's the light, that's on Main Street. Did you happen to notice that there were lights not lit? Street lights on Main Street.
All the time.
Yeah, it's like the whole block in front of, right on the lights were.
Right.
And this time of day, when it's dim,
Right, like,
you
you
have to
crossing the
contact-
street is, okay, all you do is just follow up that and let them know it's the contact.
I'm gonna take that when I drive.
Just.
Just send them an email. And that's one. I need 30 seconds more.
Call this meeting to order, please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic, for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I wish to announce that 48-hour notice is required under the Open Public Meetings Act was emailed to the Asbury Park Press, the Co-Star, and the New Co-Star on December the 18th of 2025. That a copy has been placed on the bulletin board in the borough office and that a copy has been filed with the municipal clerk. Please be advised, public attendance for meetings through Zoom is not mandatory and a courtesy only. If for any reason Zoom fails or is disconnected, the in-person meeting will continue without interruption and action can and will be taken providing there is an in-person quorum. Mr. Noble?
Here.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Here.
Mr. Carr?
Here.
Mr. Nowicki, excused. Mayor Gubatose.
Here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, folks on Zoom. Welcome to our first 5:30 PM start time meeting. Possibly ever, I'm not sure, but certainly over the past 6 years that I've been around. So we'll, as we mentioned in earlier council meetings, we're gonna give this a shot and see how it works for our residents, for our council members, for our employees, but in any event, hopefully it gets us all out every council meeting a little earlier than historically. First thing we have on our agenda after roll call is item number 5, workshops. And we've asked our own Lauren Saracen to make a workshop presentation, not only to the council, but to our residents about an idea she is spearheading, really on behalf of the borough and perhaps on behalf of the elementary school. So Lauren, can I turn it over to you?
You need.
I was trying to present it in Teams for those, so that's probably why. Got a presentation,
Oh, you need to be made a
I think
president.
it needs to be made a present, that's possible.
It's plugged.
I get it. I got it.
Okay. Well, she needs it, but then she can see it.
Should be here.
Oh, yeah.
I think we have it.
Yeah.
Seems like they're.
Is it just like?
Oh,
Name?
yeah, I got that. That's what I. Work. Should say, if
it's not there, under share.
Okay, you have to plug that into here.
Yeah.
And then get it up on there and share it with them, and then,
Through the share.
yeah. We've never done it that way before,
Okay, I thought that's.
sorry.
The up arrow left to the right of share. And choose.
All parts of there you go.
Okay, hold on, Michelle.
Hold on.
Just so nobody hacks in. Oh, that was cool.
I think.
You should be able to share that.
Yeah. You should be able to share it up there. And your computer. Yeah. Very on.
Okay. So we'll have to work on it. Sure, I think you got it. Oh, now.
No.
Yeah.
There's always some share, share your what's going on.
I was not sure that's it. We have to share, yeah.
This week.
That's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, if I just say it this way.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about this.
No, that's-
Little delay,
Yeah, so,
I guess it's.
yeah, you just have to put, you know, to do, put it in present mode,
Okay,
And I'll be your space bar.
thank you. Thank you. Thanks much.
Go ahead.
Okay,
This deep.
thank you. Okay. Thanks for your patience, everyone. Okay, so, thank you, first of all, for the opportunity, the invite to come, speak on this project idea. I've been a resident of Bradley Beach for 9 years. And like many people in this area, I walk and bike, as a primary source of transportation throughout this town and our adjacent shore towns. So, that is really the root of how I ended up with this project. I started investigating some different ways that this town could elevate the pedestrian experience while also energizing the community. So prior to sharing this proposal with you all in December, I did spend a few months socializing this idea with some residents, some community members, and also, you know, just working with the police department, Chief Arnold specifically, just to ensure that this project was even feasible, from a traffic and safety regulation, perspective. So it did change a little bit, throughout some of those conversations and throughout those findings, and that is how we ended up here today with this intersection mural art idea, supporting pedestrian safety and enhancing community vibrancy. Okay, so these are a few key topics. I'll summarize and I can expand on some of these as we move through them or once the presentation's over. Good. Introduction. Okay, so Bradley Beach is a very distinct community. We have a real opportunity to enrich the daily experience of both residents and our many visitors through meaningful public art. So one way to introduce new public art to Bradley Beach is through mural creation at some of our intersections. This is also referred to as asphalt art within the civic community.
Lauren, excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the audience can hear you. You might,
Am I not picking up?
you might not.
Okay.
Can folks hear Lauren in the back?
This is,
It's on.
it is.
Yeah.
Good.
We've still,
That's
it's
not loud.
sound system.
Okay. Can everyone hear? Okay. Okay, benefits. What are the benefits of implementing intersection mural art? Safety, I referenced the asphalt art study published in 2022. And that confirms this practice provides traffic calming measures, improved driver awareness, and promotes safer driving in pedestrian zones. Essentially increase safety for both driver and pedestrian. Community benefits, this is a pretty low overhead strategy that can have a significant impact on community unity, pride and energy. And the root of my motivation and why I'm here tonight is that public art is engaging, it's memorable, and it's fun, right? So I think that's really why I'm here. I think it'd be a really fun community project. I think it's something that we could have or reach out to a lot of different groups and also, bring that back into the community. Okay, areas of focus, which I'm sure is a strong interest for this topic. I have 2 locations that I personally identified. I see opportunity for mural art to benefit these locations based on what I experience with my frequency traveling up and down Hammond Avenue specifically. Focus area A. I do have 2 children at Bradley Elementary School. Going twice a day. So the location at 5th Avenue is a irregularly shaped intersection. It is a primary pickup and drop-off location for pre-K through 4th grade students and incurs high volume of pedestrian and vehicle traffic at those times. 1 block just south of there is the other focus area that's at 4th Avenue. And this is the intersection right at the library and St. James Church. The public library is also the school's library resource, which I don't think everyone realizes, but this means that it's regularly visited by school classes during the day, so they take walking trips from the school to the library. And additionally, the library has extensive programming, which is amazing, and often occurs in afternoons after school and is targeted school populations. So there's quite a bit of after school traffic that's traveling from the school to the library regularly. And these are just some like zoomed in versions for those of you who want like another angle, but so looking north, this is right by the school playground, Fifth Avenue. The original idea was to target Brinley, that through some of my feasibility study, we realized with being a county road, we were not able to alter that area. We didn't have some, as much leeway in being able to create some creative spaces there, so brought that idea down to this, which is also a very heavily trafficked intersection. It's also a very strange intersection because of the way it's laid out. So this actually gives a nice size canvas for us to put some artwork down on as well. And next slide. And just another on Fourth Avenue. So this is the library. You can kind of, in the street level, looking north, you can see the school in the distance there. That's one block north. So same thing, we have, a really nice, a nice intersection here to add some artwork to. So through the process of thinking about this project and socializing it and talking to many of the people that I thought would be interested and engaged and frankly resourceful for this. We've come up with this group of people. I started my conversation on this project idea with Dr. Heidelberg, principal superintendent at Bradley Beach Elementary, who was very excited. He was actually the initial, he was the one who initially suggested also targeting the library intersection. And from there, I ended up reaching out to the chief of police here, Bradley, just to, understand if we could do this project before I started roping in a whole bunch of resources and people's time. Through that, I then ended up speaking with Ashley Poglia at the library and ultimately ended up also working with Ms. Jennifer DeCefalo, who is the Bradley Beach art teacher, and Amy Walston, who owns Seawall Architecture, as more of our subject matter experts in terms of public art and design experience. Other key participants, there's a lot of different directions I foresee this project moving. I would really like to collaborate with other populations within the community, if we could get the students involved in terms of inspiration, community members, resources within the library and school specifically as it's targeting those intersections. It would be great to generate some of the art inspiration from those populations. So. And one thing I wanted to just make sure that we highlighted in this proposal is our our school art teacher, Bradley Beach art teacher for 20 years. Ms. Heidelberg, she's right here in the back row. So I wanted to highlight her as a primary member of this project specifically. Not only is she involved in the community and with our student population, but she has a strong connection with public art and contributing to various projects in Asbury throughout See Here Now and the Wood Walls project. And I put some of her accomplishments up on here, but her resume is extensive and active. And I think we could really leverage a lot of her talent and her connections to the artistic community to ensure that this project not only was done, but was done efficiently and with the best chemistry that best. Thank you. And budget and funding. So at this time, there isn't a fully baked budget ready to roll. I came up with this idea and I really had no concept of how much it would cost or what funding would be available to this project, either from the town or the resources. But I knew that I was committed to investigating grants, community fundraising, donations to support this project. My hope is that the town would be interested in financially supporting some of this work. However, if that's not the case, I would want to investigate other means to move this forward for what it is and not have it be stalled or halted because of money. I think that's a resource that we could figure out one way or another. So that's where we're at the budget. And I've also been working with Mr. Zeppelo as well to understand, you know, what in terms of resources, ways to leverage. Some of the municipalities have relationships with paint suppliers. And can get those for discounted prices, so these would be ways that we could make the budget, you know, stretch. And then in conclusion. But kind of what I've already talked about here, but by investigating and artistically enhanced intersections, we can protect our citizens, enhance walkability of our neighborhood. Foster a creative, more unified community. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna give the council a chance to ask a few questions, then we'll open it up to the audience. And before I even ask the council, I was gonna, Chief, put you on the spot a little to comment.
Sure, when Lauren first approached me, I love the idea, I think it's great for the school. I think it does provide a nice safety aspect there. On behalf of the town, I just wanted to look into liability issues. I talked to the engineer, town's attorney, so on and so forth. Red Bank has done a little bit of this pavement artwork in their jurisdiction, so I reached out to the police department there. It seems like, and I spoke to Lauren, as long as it doesn't impede on any traffic control devices, and when I say traffic control devices, I don't mean like traffic lights. That does include crosswalks, signage, you know, any pavement markings that are controlling traffic. So as long as it doesn't impede on that, you know, it should be fine. And I think it does, like I said, you know, add to visibility, could increase safety, especially with the kids around the school there. So I love the idea. And then, you know, if it's approved, then we'll talk about, you know, distances from some of those traffic control devices. But other than that, you know, I like the idea.
All right, thank you, Chief. Let's open up to questions from the council.
I have a couple questions. First of all, thank you so much for your presentation. I've worked with Jen before. I was also an art major, so this is right up my alley. I do have a few questions as far as maintaining it. How would it be maintained and who would do that?
So that is one of the items that would go into the budget and funding. So yeah, long-term maintenance is something that if the project were to move forward, that would become part of the budget extension. One thing that Mr. Zeppelo and I did talk about was if we were to have this approved, maybe we would request help from DPW, and that would be essentially if we could have the intersection bounds of the project painted white, they would help with that, or if we don't really know because we don't know if this project is. So I guess long-term maintenance would be done by the artist, but initial maintenance, we could certainly use support from the town.
Right, because I looked at other towns and they did have issues with fading, weather damage,
Of course,
between
yeah.
tires and oil leaks and sun exposure and snow plows. They said it
Yeah.
really did a lot of damage on these. And also I wanted to know, oh, this is one town they had what they called museum loitering, where people are actually going into the intersection and taking selfies and children playing in the intersection because it was like an attractive nuisance. So the kids were attracted to it. And I wondered if you ever considered doing something like this in the school playground, where there's a lot of blacktop and it would be a cooling device as well as maybe an educational component.
I am certainly open to adding public art wherever the town allows it. I would prefer to see it someplace that's more visible to the community. But I'm also open to suggestions and talking about some of that some more.
And then I noticed with the art that you had, it was pretty much like nature or geometric. What was the idea of what kind of art you imagining?
Well, that is another conversation that we were talking about. I thought it would be nice if both the school population, the library and our community had some input on the artwork, you know, somewhat like some kind of like think tank or workshopping moment where perhaps there was opportunity for the community to generate things like, what colors do you think of? What are some words that you think of? What do you think of when you think of our community? And then, you know, leveraging those key pieces or criteria into a piece of artwork. So generating the inspiration from, you know, the groups that, you know, are participating in that.
Okay, and I have a question actually for the chief. I noticed in those pictures that the lines are just lines for the crosswalks, and I know sometimes we hatch out crosswalks.
We are, so as you know, they have that big project on Fifth Avenue, which they're still not totally complete. They still have to do the pavement work, so they will be hatched,
Okay,
like a ladder crosswalk.
yes,
It will be like that. They come back in the spring to do some of the pavement. We talked about that already.
okay, good.
But that's another issue like you brought up about snow plowing, oils, so on and so forth. You know, road work, we have a lot of that could, you know, end up tearing up that area at some point.
Right, and I worry, you know, I know a lot of towns I looked into in Passaic, Newark, Red Bank. You talked about that earlier, and it's pretty much in their downtown section, like this is a neighborhood with houses. So, you know, you have to make sure that it's okay with our neighbors looking at this artwork, and it has to be pristine, and it has to be professional. Then you talked about stencils versus freehand, so it looks professional. So we'd have to take that into account as well, that.
Yes, well, that's a great point. I do not, and I'm gonna be careful with how I say this. I would like I want this to be elevated, very professional and exciting artwork. I'm not looking for the children to do this intersection. What I want is to tap into these amazing resources that we have, including Mr. Zephylo, including the Asbury art community. And I would like to get some real exciting artwork put in here that is drawing attention to the town in a positive way.
Okay.
So that is not, and in terms of maintenance, it is on a road, it is asphalt art, it's to be expected that this is not permanent. And that's the other piece of this project that, you know, it's not permanent art. So yes, I see a lot of towns going through and they have regular cadence maintenance and some don't. So I think that's something else that we would want to talk about if we got to a place where we felt this project was moving forward. How do we want to maintain this? Do we want to maintain it long term? Is this something that the next time the blacktop goes over it, just goes over it? Like, I don't know. These are all
Right.
conversation pieces.
And that's why I was really thinking about that playground, because it would be less wear and tear on the playground. We could do interactive murals, maybe something with the solar system or native plants and trees, maybe something, the elements of the sea from the ocean brought in where the kids can interact, or, you know, maybe it's something educational where it's the map of the United States or the solar system. And again, it would be more gently used. So I think that's, I don't know if you talked to Dr. Heidelberg about the idea of the playground as well.
I have not, because this is being proposed as intersection mural art, so I did not talk to him about the playground.
Okay,
But I'm sure that he would be open to that. He seems to be very.
yeah, that would be
excited
really,
about
I'd love to
this,
see
but
that.
That would maybe be an additional piece to this
Right, okay.
project.
I think that's all. And then I guess about the paint, it has to be slip resistant. I don't know what kind of paint you would use for this product.
Yes, so that's where we tap into some of our subject matter experts on public art.
Okay. We talked about, okay, that's my questions, but thank you very much, Lauren.
Mitch, yes.
Yeah, actually, you covered most of them. But I just want to touch on just one in the presentation that you had sent, the initial one that we had reviewed. The areas where the art existed was a little bit more commercial, a little bit more urban, and here we have residential corners.
Right.
So I'm thinking as a resident of the town, you know, that I have some artwork in front of my house. I know that anytime we've done any type of painting of anything, yes, it's an ugly, you know, parking stripe, but it's like, oh, I can't, you know, it's just a voice from the town about that. And I know you had mentioned about some outreach that you had done with residents and the town and the police. I'm just wondering if you've had the opportunity to kind of gauge the temperature of people who are surrounding that area.
So I have not done that. To your point about it being in a residential area. This is a very small town and very difficult to find those places, especially with Main Street. I don't think being able to be offered. So we are in Ocean Ave as well. So we are limited to a residential neighborhood for any type of art like this. I would clearly want to reach out to the neighbors. I know Ally, you live right there at that intersection of Fourth Avenue, not that far from there. So yes, I don't know if this is a situation where you would notice everybody within 100 feet or whatever we do at the land use board to, you know, to understand what the project is, opportunity to respond. My hope would be that, you know, this would be something that the community would be behind, but, you know, you certainly have to be respectful of what the community wants, especially if you're on the street.
So I think both Jane and Mitch addressed a lot of the concerns that I had. I think this is it's a wonderful proposition. I think it's a great community endeavor. We also have an arts council, so I would hope that if this does go forward, that the arts council can also be a part of this process.
Yeah, we foresee actually a few different organizations or committees in town that would overlap.
Right.
These projects.
Right, so, you know, again, some of my concerns are also that they're within the residential areas and to the degree. You know, that the design is something that, you know, the neighbors would be happy about, is a concern.
Yeah, I did want, I should have put this more explicitly in the proposal or in the presentation, but in my conversation with Dr. Heidelberg about this. You know, the things that we're trying to express in this artwork are very much positive community, non-political. And mostly related to, you know, I've seen quite a few of these intersection artwork examples at libraries, so a lot of things with literacy, community. Engage, like, so I don't foresee the artwork itself being controversial. That's not the goal. The goal is to just bring vibrancy into the neighborhoods.
Is that it? Okay, so Lauren, I number one, I want to say thank you just for taking this initiative. Talking to all the resources you've already spoke with, including Chief Arnold, putting this presentation together. I mean, I've said it many times, I'll say it again. I love volunteerism just within the borough, and you certainly embody that, so thank you very much. I have a couple of quick questions. You mentioned, I don't know, I think you mentioned something about looking into grant funding. Have you actually identified any potential grant
I have
funding?
not done that yet, no.
Okay, I'm always gonna come at this from the perspective of residents, which you've heard a few times, and, you know, taxpayer dollars, so how do we spend them most effectively? But there very likely could be grant funding available, so we as the borough can look into that. I was struck by, in the presentation and some of the materials you shared with me earlier, the size, some of these are very large murals and paintings. Would we have some flexibility, do you think, to maybe, I'll say ease into this with, you know, not taking up an entire intersection, but maybe, you know, I don't know, just something smaller than some of the,
Like Red Bank where it bumps out a little bit.
I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, okay, yeah. It just kind of bumped out the corners of
I mean,
it.
are you envisioning we'd have some flexibility around the sheer size of some of the murals?
I think so, and Chief Arnold and I have talked about the work in Red Bank, which, as related to the school specifically, we have these pick up and drop off areas, that artwork, and I don't have a picture of it, but tends to kind of follow the shoulder of the road and, you know, maybe elevates where people are gonna be moving around, right? So you're getting picked up and dropped off, cars are pulling in and out, so there was some examples of that. And in terms of size, I think some of that is related to the artwork that would be created. So obviously, if you have a smaller canvas size, the detail of the artwork that's going in that would change. So I don't think there's any hard and fast rules that I'm presenting right now, as much as just trying to define what this project would look like to move it forward most efficiently.
General timeframe, is this something that if we had enough support for it, would it be a springtime effort? I mean, I presume artists want to be working during the winter.
Yeah, I think, again, it would depend on the resources in terms of artistic talent and support that we pull together and determining what basically all the specs of the project. So the size, timing would certainly be relative to Mr. Zeppola's schedule as well. And Also, I'm not, some seasonality of the town, so I was imagining late spring, mostly due to weather, and that's somewhat flexible as well.
My last question, just in case we get to a point where, we've got some folks a little on the fence. Would it be feasible to consider that, you proposed 2 intersections, I think that's, as a starting point, very reasonable. That said, would there be an option to even consider moving ahead with one of the 2, the one perhaps near the school first? See how it flows, see how the community reacts, and then consider, a second.
I think.
All right, if there are no other questions from the council, I'd like to open it up to the town and ask our residents if you have any comments or questions. Show of hands. No, anyone? Nope. All right, Lauren, again, thank you very much.
so much.
We appreciate the participation. I'm going to deviate momentarily from our agenda because we have an item on the agenda that I believe we're going to table. And because I'll get right to it. Individual resolution 2026-47 is the mediation agreement before between the affordable housing and the borough. We reached an agreement. However, the draft agreement had a few that was presented to us over the weekend by affordable housing. It literally had a few typographical errors in it. Named the zone incorrectly. There were a couple minor things. But as of today, we've been waiting, hoping we get some confirmation back that they would approve the edits we suggested. As of this moment, they have not yet approved it. So I'm gonna make a motion, and just in case anyone's here for affordable housing, I just wanted to do this early in the meeting. But I'm gonna make a motion that we table individual resolution 2026-47, which was the mediation agreement between affordable housing and the borough of Bradley Beach. Because again, we're waiting on final confirmation that our edits are okay.
Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. Okay, so if anyone's here only for affordable housing, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Thank you. Item 6 on the agenda is presentations and bids. Is Ron Parker's not here? I don't see her. All right, we do have a presentation from Ms. Parker, who spent a number of years valiantly serving as a volunteer on our environmental commission. And Erica, I think you've got.
Yeah, that is
You've got a
certificate of appreciation for Ms. Roma. She's not here unfortunately.
But if you wouldn't mind reading it.
Sure, okay, so certificate of appreciation, Borough of Bradley Beach, New Jersey, Rhonda Parker. The mayor and council recognizes the dedication and long hours of hard work that Rhonda Parker devoted to the Environmental Commission of the Borough of Bradley Beach. This conscientious volunteer spirit provided tremendous support to our town and to our residents and will always be appreciated. Awarded January 20th of 2026.
Thank you, and our collective thank you to Rona, who many of us know as a friend and neighbor, but served many years on the Environmental Commission. So thank you to Rona Parker. Item 7 on the agenda is approval of the minutes. I will make a motion to approve the January 1st, 2026 council reorganization meeting minutes.
Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. Item 8, public comments or questions pertaining to anything on the 1/20/26, i.e. today's agenda. Any items on the agenda only? Any comments or questions? Mr. Quinn.
Jay Cohen, 612 Third Avenue. I just had a question about. One of these, let's see, 2026-39, governing body certification of 2024 annual audit. So is that audit in, Mr. Mayor?
It is in, it's been distributed to the council. We needed to vote tonight on that resolution to affirm that we have reviewed the audit comments. And once we do that, it'll be posted for the public to review.
So could we expect that tomorrow on the website?
Erica, how quickly can we get that up? Do you know?
Well, I have to still post it to the newspaper, the summary in the newspaper also. I mean, I don't know, whatever you wanted up there.
Yeah, as soon as possible, whatever is, convenient for the clerk, but it'll be done very quickly.
Great, okay, that'll be the full report with recommendations.
I believe we have an electronic version of it.
And I'll have recommendations and,
Yep.
okay.
There were roughly, I want to say 8 recommendations.
There were 8 recommendations.
7 of them were repeated from the year before. This is the 2024 audit,
Yes,
repeating comments that existed in the 23 audit as well.
that was when Mr. Gartz was the CFO.
24.
Great, okay, look forward to it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Other comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to item 9 on the agenda, which are a series of ordinance introductions. First on the list is 2026-2, which is an ordinance amending chapter 6, chapter 6D, land use procedures of the borough's revised general ordinances to acknowledge the class 1 designee on the borough's land use board pursuant to New Jersey municipal land use law. Again, for introductions, there will be no open public comment, but we'll try to give brief explanations of each, and then when we vote to adopt, we will open up to public comment. But for this particular ordinance, very minor wording, we already say class 1 is the mayor. In New Jersey land use law, you're also allowed to, the mayor is allowed to have a designee. We're following actual land use law as we speak, in that I've already designated Mitch Carp to be my designee. But we're told we really should add it to our ordinance. So we're adding language that says class 1 is the mayor, and then we're adding or mayor's designee. And that's really the extent of this. Any comments or questions? All right, I'll make a motion. We introduce ordinance 2026-2.
Second. Ms. DeNoble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gubatose.
Yes. Okay, 2026-3 is actually ordinance amendments that have been presented to the council by the Environmental Commission. They have asked the council to consider an ordinance amendment that basically will provide greater clarity in their bylaws for the management of members and in particular how their chair is appointed and what else? I'm trying to remember top of my head. And it takes,
Absenteeism,
yeah, secretary and
absenteeism.
absentees of disciplining members or recommending members for removal. So any questions or comments on this for the council? All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the introduction of ordinance 2026-3.
Second.
Ms. DeNoble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gubatose.
Yes. 2026-4 is an ordinance creating a third-party payroll disbursement process for chapter 78 under personnel policies of the borough's revised general ordinances. This is purely an administrative ordinance that was requested of this council by our QPA and our CFO. This is something required by law. We don't have it.
And I believe it's also one of the recommendations in the budget report. So I think it's checked a couple of boxes.
Very good. Any other comments or questions? I'll make a motion that we approve the introduction of 2026-4.
Second.
Ms. DeNoble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gubatose.
Yes. Okay, 2026-5, we're gonna take a couple minutes to discuss this one, but this is an ordinance amendment to chapter 9, traffic of the borough's revised general ordinances to revise regulations pertaining to special parking permits. And folks in this audience may recall, I want to say early December, either end of November, early December, we introduced an ordinance in November, and then we withdrew the ordinance adoption as members of the audience raised concerns about the original draft of this amendment. The original draft, just as a quick walk down memory lane, we have many residents raise concerns about the yellow curb parking for handicapped individuals who were not full-time residents of Bradley Beach. So they'd be here for the summer months, they'd have a house in Bradley, but they'd only be here for the summer. And we had many of their neighbors raising concerns about the fact that the yellow curbs were all there all year long, even though some of these residents were only here for 3 months out of the year. Nobody could park on the street all year long wherever these yellow lines existed. A month or so ago, when we first introduced changes here, we tried to make the line of demarcation. I'm holding up my invisible driver's license, but the idea would be if your primary residence on your driver's license was Bradley Beach, you would have a year-round handicap spot available. And if you didn't have that as primary residence, you had no spot at all. A gentleman stood up and made a very compelling pitch that he is a homeowner, he should at least have handicap parking while he's here in the summer. And we withdrew that last ordinance. This ordinance introduces a compromise, which is the individual who is not a full-time resident here in Bradley Beach, for example, 6 months and a day in Florida. That person, we're now talking about having a 2-tier system for handicap parking. Tier 1 is you're a year-round resident and you get year-round parking. If you are not a primary resident of Bradley Beach, you can apply for a 6-month permit that would run April 15th through October 15th. So basically, the full summer along with a buffer on each end of that. So there'd be 6 months available to the individual who owns a residence here, but only spends 3 or 4 months of the year here. We're trying to find a balance between serving individuals who are handicapped or have limited accessibility, and all of their surrounding neighbors who value an ability to park, especially when no one else is using those portions of the street. There's some other smaller elements of this, and again, we're not going to spend tonight talking about a lot of it. Everyone will get a shot at this when we bring it back for adoption. But a couple that come readily to mind, we expanded wording around caregivers. In the last discussion, we had not accounted for multiple caregivers. The language used to say the caregiver had to live at the residence. And we've changed that to say, as long as the caregiver is working at least 8 hours a day and has an assignment that's for no less than 30 hours a week, and with a contract that at least is documented to commit to 3 months of service, that caregiver, and there could be 3 caregivers meeting that definition, they would all be eligible for parking permits. We reduced the fee, the current fee is $50. We had originally talked about increasing it to $200. The current version has reduced that amount to $100. So we would be moving our fees from $50 to $100 as one other element of the new resolution, of the new ordinance. And then trying to think, council, any other
the attestation.
Oh, another, I think, important piece of this, and this was included in the last version as well. We used to have wording that said you need a doctor's note. And the challenge with the doctor's note is, it is whatever the doctor creates, but there could be an intense amount of detail or there could be virtually no detail. We're not looking for medical information, but we are looking for limits to your accessibility to, your ability to walk basically, or reach your front door from the street. So this new attestation form has been created, which we will just consistently ask every resident who is asking for a special parking permit to have their doctor complete this form. And the form is very clearly and consistently outlining what the doctor's feedback is on the patient. So it's kind of taking away a lot of the subjectivity and asking the doctor to attest this patient of mine is or is not able to walk 50 feet without experiencing some degree of discomfort or pain. So we're trying to be a little more consistent and objective in metrics that our police department will use to assess parking permits. Keep in mind for everybody that the borough is under no obligation. People come to me and say, oh, well, handicap parking, we have to make that available. We do in public park areas, our own parking lot, for example. We do not have to make it available on our public streets. And the reason I say that is because this is something we are doing as a courtesy. We're making it available to our residents who have handicaps, who have limitations. in access. But we want to do it in a way that we're efficiently utilizing very limited public street space in a town that has very limited parking already. So we think, I'm speaking for myself, but I think what we're about to vote on is representing a compromise and trying to serve our residents as best we can, our handicap residents in particular, as well as residents who would like to be able to utilize that space in other times of the year. There's a few other pieces in there, but I want to give at least an overview. Any other comments or questions?
So anticipating that this goes through, currently the permits from 2025 have been extended through the end of February.
Correct.
So how would we roll out this first year, since we're a little bit off on the schedule for that?
Yeah, we'll just, it'll be we already have applications in and we've been stalling people and I'm sure others are waiting. Once we at least vote to move forward, even though we won't have an adoption for another few weeks, we can at least begin an outreach and communication process, but we'll do everything retroactive to February 1, even if a lot of the applications come in a little beyond February 1. Going forward, that transition is not covered in this ordinance. That'll be a policy then.
Right.
That we'll communicate. Any other comments or questions, Chief Arnold?
Sorry, Mayor, I didn't realize part of this was the caregivers. Can you just explain that again?
Yeah.
Because currently it's if you don't live with the resident.
Yeah.
Okay,
In our last meeting, when we were rolling forward the current ordinance, which as you say, requires a caregiver to live at the residence. A number of residents spoke up and said, you could have part-time caregivers, you could have, shifts. Caregiver comes for 8 hours, it's a 24-hour coverage, but they come in 3 shifts in the course of the day. And while we don't think that happens often, in fact, it may not happen much at all. We wanted to make sure that we provided the opportunity to have shifts and caregivers, that no one had to necessarily live at the residence. So we changed that one provision. We struck basically that you have to be a resident at that address. And we changed it to, if you give us documentation that says that you're a caregiver handling that individual and that you work at least 8 hours a day, at least 30 days a week. And you have a contract for at least 3 months, you'll be eligible for a sticker. You still have to display the state placard as well.
So currently, the way it always has been is that only one vehicle is assigned to that spot. So how, from an enforcement standpoint, multiple cars, I don't know how we enforce that.
Well, there's only gonna be one spot, right? So,
No, but there's one spot, one car that's assigned to that space for the year. No other cars allowed to be in that spot. So if you're saying there's multiple, how are we gonna be notified? How are we gonna keep up with what car's supposed to be there?
But wouldn't you look for the sticker and placard and say, oh, there,
We only give out one.
yeah,
So is that, we're
that's
giving
gonna change.
out
Yeah,
multiple?
we're gonna, again, I don't expect this to happen often, if at all. I mean, but there could
It
be
does happen often.
multiple caregivers.
Know that they're trying to get spaces and saying it's for a caregiver, and generally they're denied because, the purpose of it initially is that it's a caregiver that is transporting this person often. That's why they need the space. The caregiver themselves, not being handicapped, don't need the space. They can park like anybody coming to visit. So the purpose of the caregiver getting the space in front of the house, this person lives there, they're taking them to treatment every day, often they need that space.
Right.
So they don't have to walk the person to the car.
Yeah.
But if it's just for treatment, do they need that space?
Yeah.
So-
Well, I mean, we'll find out when we vote, but I think where we're coming out on this was we should make that one space. It's not like they'll have multiple spaces.
Right.
So at any one point in time, only one car could actually park there. But to your point, there could be 2 or 3 or 4 cars that are eligible to park there. The assumption that we have would be they're parking there during their shift. And there's an and clause that you have to have that decal, which Michelle would track 3 cars, say, 3 different caregivers, all of whom show us their contract. So Michelle hands out 3 decals for the say back left, corner of the back windshield. But they would also have to put out the one state placard. So that's, I think, how we
But
would,
whose placard are they displaying? I mean, you can't
the,
display,
the disabled.
you're not handicapped, you can't display somebody else's placard. So whose state placard are they displaying?
Okay,
They're not handicapped.
okay. What the wording says in this introduction, and we can change it, that's why we're having this conversation, is that the individual's, handicapped individual's placard would be displayed while that car was parked there. The idea was so that you could monitor it, but are you saying they
I
can't
mean,
put that there?
you know what? If it's not if you're not handicapped, you yourself, you're just parking the car there, you shouldn't be using somebody else's handicap state placard. That's illegal.
Okay,
So I don't see what they'd be
if
able.
I may. So I think this is more for somebody that's like, say, 90 years old, they no longer drive,
Right.
right? But they have a professional caretaker come in and stay with them for 8 hours a day. And then another one comes in and stays for another 8 hours. So I don't think we have that many certain situations that people
Right.
have these kind of in-home caretakers.
Right.
It's so the people that are getting taken care of probably don't have a placard because they're not
Right.
driving.
Right,
Okay, so this is for a professional home care specialist.
Okay.
It's not for someone to pick them up or deliver food. It's for someone that really has someone living or working there for 8 hours. I don't know how many applications you have like that,
right. So we might have to take out the state placard display.
especially if there's not one available, yes.
Now, we do have the placard as a requirement for all other, all other individuals, which is obviously no problem, but I guess we'll have to have it. We're gonna keep the placard requirement, but we'll have to have language that says in the event it's a caregiver,
Right,
we'll follow only the decal.
You can't be like a daughter coming in and just sitting with you for an hour. It's gotta be someone that's gonna be working with this person.
Okay, so let's make a note of that. I'm looking for my actual language. But other comments or questions from the council?
Yeah, I had two just small changes, and I don't know if the changes can be made, as this document is tonight.
Yeah, sure. Well, depending what they are.
Right, I think I had mentioned them to you before, and it was just kind of to clean up, any ambiguities. So on page 4 of the document, under administrative requirements, number 2, all applicants will be reviewed during the month of January. I would strike during the month of January. It doesn't change, the meaning. All applicants will be reviewed by the police department and permits will be issued by the chief of police for a January 1st effective date. Eligibility requirements are satisfied. So it's my recommendation to strike during the month of January. And then there was.
Rather than, before you say page 4, what number was it? Just we can.
It's number 2 under B, administrative requirements.
Strike during the month of January.
Right,
Everybody see that and
Yeah.
comfortable with
Bill,
that?
you finding it yet?
Okay, that's one.
that was
And what was the other
one.
one?
And then the other one was, number 9, which reads, only one car can be designated to park in the designated parking space. I would eliminate that item if, there are multiple caregivers and multiple stickers are provided. I'm in a meeting.
I think I'm trying to compare that to what Chief was just saying, so Chief. Let's say there are 3 caregivers and we're not gonna have a placard, but we are gonna have 3 separate decals. What Councilwoman Greenblatt is saying is we could strike, the statement that says only one car can be designated to park in the designated parking place, because in theory, we could have 3.
Unless it's a caregiver.
right, that's what I mean, maybe, is there a way to word it where it is one car, but in a circumstance
Unless it's
where
a
it's some caregivers?
Yes, a full-time caretaker.
No, unless it's not a full-time, unless it's a caregiver.
Yeah, unless it's a full-time caretaker.
Not full-time, could be 8 hours a day.
Well, 8 hours is
30
full-time.
hours. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll just say,
Around the clock.
yeah, okay, so. Only one car can be designated to park in the designated parking space. Something along the lines of, exceptions may be made for, multiple caregivers, and we'll again leave it to the police's
Mhm.
discretion.
perfect.
exceptions. Maybe made,
I don't think you're gonna have that many applications for that kind of,
I don't think so either, yeah, we're just trying to accommodate
right, just
a
in case.
lot of feedback.
Mhm.
Okay,
But it still doesn't address the possibility of no placard. This
No.
particular,
no, we have to make a quick edit there. Where does it say that? Here we go, item 4. Item 4 says each permit holder must display both a valid New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission issued disability placard and the Bradley Beach handicap decal. And okay, so item 4 under B. Actually, we also had,
Well, you could just be with the exception of those that are designated as caregivers.
approved caregivers,
yeah,
who will only need to put the sticker in the back.
Right.
Just to make it clear. And then you would have that vehicle registered. So you'd have that information.
Do you look for the stickers and this, you'd be done? Or
Yeah.
Would you start matching up the plates?
If sometimes it's hidden, most of your cars nowadays are coming with their windows tinted. It's just factory, so.
You can't see it.
Difficult to see, so you might have to look at all the.
Yeah.
okay. Right, how about this for wording? Under item 3, I guess it's A3. The applicant must possess a valid New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission, I've got 2 edits in here. Valid New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission issued disability placard or wheelchair symbol license plate under this reference. I had already scratched in or equivalent from another state. Because the chief tells me that there could be New York State licenses. And then continue with the possible exception of multiple caregivers. Is that close?
Yeah.
Jean,
Sorry,
I'm sorry, I didn't want them to interrupt you, no, I
Okay.
interrupted you.
that's okay. I'm just trying to get this tight enough that we can vote, hopefully to move this forward. And then we can tweak. It's always okay to tweak an adoption. We just can't change it materially.
Well, we were talking about the events that happen during the year. If somebody moves in or somebody becomes disabled during the season.
That is in here, I
I think
think.
we covered that.
Is it,
Yeah, that at other times during the year.
unless I missed them.
Yeah, where's that? But
You may have gotten.
we did put that in, right?
Yeah.
Can anyone find it?
Yeah,
1 second, Mitch.
Why get rid of review during the month of January?
I know that is in here, but I don't see it.
maybe the latest version.
You finding it?
Yeah, I'm looking at the latest versions.
Off calendar years, special parking permit applications under B, administrative requirements number 3.
B3, yeah.
Yeah.
So Mitch, it reads, off calendar year special parking permit applications will be considered by the police department if accessibility conditions change substantially after January 1st. All right? So I think that covers the edits. I'm going to recite these, Erica, and then I'll give them to you after the meeting, but I'm gonna make a motion. You okay with this? I'm gonna make a motion.
Make sure you get those
I
attorney
will.
too. Okay.
I'm gonna make a motion that we make edits to the current draft amendment. Beginning with. Which one are we beginning with? Okay, B2. We will strike the wording during the month of January. On B9. We will add to the end of that sentence, it reads, only one car can be designated to park in the designated parking space. We'll add, comma, exceptions may be made for multiple caregivers. And then for A3, we will say, it already says the applicant must possess a valid New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission issued disability placard or wheelchair symbol license plate under PL 1949, C.280. And then it will continue with a parenthetical or equivalent from another state, close parens, comma, with the possible exception of multiple caregivers. So I'll make a motion that we include those three edits.
Second. Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gubatose.
Yes, thank you for working through all that, council. Now I will make a motion that we approve ordinance 2026-5 with the inclusion of those three amendments.
Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gubatose.
Yes. Ordinance 2026-1, an ordinance amending and supplementing the Borough Code of the Borough Code of the Borough of Bradley Beach, Chapter 450 entitled zoning to establish a new zone entitled Affordable Housing 4, which is AH-4 zone. First of all, any comments or questions from the council?
Thank you so much for all the work on this.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
make a comment, then I'm gonna open it up to the public for public comment. Just as a reminder to everybody, we introduced this ordinance at our last meeting, and then it had to be reviewed and approved for consistency by the land use board. The purpose of this is to establish one of what will ultimately be 5 overlay zones that will align broadly with the settlement we've reached with affordable housing. But specifically, this is the 803 Main Street property that is working with the borough to create 4 affordable units within a building that should be built on that location. So with that said, I'm gonna open it up to what's the public comment?
Correct.
Uh,
Second, I think
yep.
we vote. Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gubatose.
Yes. Public comment or questions on ordinance 2026-1? Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if I have this ordinance right, but I will try. All right, is this the, they want the 4 stories, you want 4 stories for this ordinance? Or is this a voted on, are we voting on, so we can have more traffic, or what is we voting on here?
Yeah, this is, we're creating an overlay zone. There's an ordinance that exists already that does allow 4 stories, on the west side of Main Street.
Oh, does that just apply on the whole Main Street itself,
On the west side.
just on the west side?
Currently, current ordinances exist that allow,
So they can go 4 up,
correct.
from say, what avenue down, what does the west side consist of?
Well, if you're going up and down Main Street,
Yeah,
the Borough Hall is on the west side, where if anything
Okay.
on the side where the railroad tracks
gotcha,
are.
right. So anything on that side can go up 4 stories.
It can, it's gotta have
On
parking
the
on
whole
the first.
Main Street.
Correct, that exists already. We're not voting on that tonight. We're designating a certain area, it happens to be 803 Main, to be deemed a particular overlay zone to make it more aligned with affordable housing objectives.
And how many, so you're gonna go 4 stories, how many are gonna be affordable housing? In that,
4 units. 4 units.
4 units, and how many are there gonna be? How many are they gonna build?
26 or 20.
She's asking how
24.
many buildings are we gonna build on the west side?
How many buildings? Oh, I'm sorry.
They're building a 4-story building, and 4 units are gonna go to the unaffordable.
Yes,
And how many how many units
Oh,
are in the whole building?
24 total.
24, so 20. So
Correct.
we're gonna have 20 people, 20 families in there,
24.
but 24, right? And where are they gonna park?
On the, so Ms. Leahy, you need to understand this, well, you're asking questions about something that's already been approved
So-
years ago.
All right,
So they're gonna park, they have first floor parking under the building,
Oh, okay.
but it's already been approved.
So why are we here?
Well, because we're modifying that approval just to make sure we align with our affordable housing goals. Up until this point, the developer had not officially agreed to provide us with 4 affordable units. And as part of this thing we're voting on tonight, he's going to give us 4 units. We're going to allow him to build a few more units where there would have been commercial, but it has nothing to do with the height of the building or, or the.
Did they ever, did the town ever do a traffic on this, I mean, how much more traffic we're gonna have?
This was all voted on years ago by the,
Done deal.
well, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I guess,
Okay, all right.
but it was handled by the
So,
planning board at the time.
Yes.
so we're here to say what? That it's okay for him to do this, that he can. I don't,
We're gonna add affordable housing units to this building. That's what we're voting on
oh,
today.
that was never in that. in the
Right,
deal.
correct,
Correct.
yes,
Gotcha, so now that's it.
yes.
If we didn't vote on this tonight, then we'd be at an impasse, though we wouldn't necessarily have an agreement to get affordable units, so we think it's a,
But before they get, when they apply, say I'm gonna build on this. There's no law that says you've gotta have so much affordable building.
there is.
It,
But there was a disagreement in terms of whether or not this developer was subject to that law or not. And this is how we're resolving that disagreement.
so he gets his way anyhow. Okay.
Well, no, we're getting affordable.
We're getting our way.
But we think it's a good thing for the borough.
Yeah.
The building that you're questioning is already in place. Within that building, we had 0 affordable units. Now, as a result of this agreement, we're going to get 4 affordable units, so we think it's a good thing.
Right, but I guess my original thought is, but when they apply, I'm gonna build this. That there isn't a law that says you've gotta allow so many for affordable housing.
It was in a time frame where there was at least
It was,
a question.
and
Yeah,
they didn't enforce it or it wasn't applied.
the borough tried to enforce it, the developer said they didn't agree with the borough, and we were at an impasse. And this is our settlement.
That's kind of like I have a neighbor who has hedges way too high and he refuses to take them down. So we have a code saying it has to be.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cohen?
Sure, Thomas J. Cohen, 6 Third Avenue. I'd like to clarify some things that were brought up by the previous speaker. This was originally approved for 48 feet, 4 stories when Gary Engelstad was mayor. It was done specifically with Giamotto's in mind. That is a 48-foot building, 4 stories with parking underneath, which requires no parking variances. The original submission by this developer was for 18 units and no parking variance. He was supplying all the parking based on the residential site improvement standards, which is fantastic, and cheerleading. The ordinances were supposed to be administratively handled by Mayor Engelstad and Mayor Fox. They never were. That's really the question. It's a disservice of the administration of affordable housing in this community. Okay, I stood right here and said at those meetings, where are the affordable units? You should be giving us at least 3 at the time. Oh, no, we don't have to do it. There's videotape. You can go back and watch it, listen to it. I do want to credit this developer because during round 3, he could have used builder's remedy to push for an even bigger building. Other towns are living through that now in Belmar. With their redevelopment zones, builder's remedy is being used. In this case, builder's remedy is not being used. This is really a settlement. So there'll be 24 units. We'll be getting 4 affordable units, and Fair Share Housing acknowledges a 2-unit bonus, which helps us to get to our respective need currently of 13 units in this round. We still have an unmet need, which we'll be working on through other zoning that you'll be approving. But I think this is a very reasonable settlement, but I do want the public to know one thing. in this settlement, if you'll notice, the parking requirement in the settlement is 1.5 spaces per unit. Okay, not real crazy about that because the RISA standards are 1.8 spaces for a 1-bedroom, 2 spaces for a 2-bedroom, and 2.2 for 3-bedroom. So there is going to be a parking deficit on this property, but I think we have to look at the other side that we're getting the units. The malfeasance that took place over the administration of affordable housing in Bradley Beach over the last 10 years is what leads us to this. So I think it's a very reasonable settlement, but I want the public to be aware for any future projects, they should meet the residential site improvement standards for parking. Many buildings on Main Street were built prior to 1920. It was horse and buggy. Nobody even had a car. People couldn't afford a car. Now it's really an issue, but unless we hold the new developers to the residential site improvement standards, our deficit is going to get worse and worse. And our master plan specifically says we have parking issues in specific areas in Bradley Beach. And I think everyone acknowledges that. So in my mind, that's the only negative on this thing. I think it was done a consistency review by the land use board, which said it was consistent with the master plan, especially the affordable housing. So I hope that answers any of the questions I previous speaker, but that's how we got it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. And you mentioned the 1.5, parking under this particular ordinance. But as you're well aware, I'll just mention this for the public's benefit, in the other 4 overlay zones, as far as we know, this is one of the things we're just awaiting final confirmation from affordable housing. But the draft that we've submitted back to them is saying we will comply with RISA standards, so we will have the 1.8 or the 2.0 for other developments. So with all that said, I'm sorry. Yes, sir. I can't read the name.
Zoom, you can unmute yourself.
Who is it, Jane?
Yeah, state your name and address, please.
I'm Drew Borders, not Gloria Borders, which might pop up in your Zoom.
Hello, Mr. Waters.
Just state your address as well, sir, and unmute yourself.
Could you state your address, please?
Now he's muted again.
You're muted.
Try it again, unmute.
Can you unmute yourself? There you go.
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, am I good?
Yes, I just need your address.
I just want to go back really quickly to the park.
Can you state your address,
your
please?
Oh, I'm sorry. Drew Borders, 120 Cliff Avenue, Bradley Beach, New Jersey.
Thank you.
Property out there. I'm sorry, I thought there'd be discussion on parking a little bit, and I don't want to go back to that, but I just need to, I would just like to make sure that any reference to, I know one of the items, 99 3.9, but there's also 9 8.3 that reference New Jersey as having a New Jersey placard or a New Jersey thing, and I saw you address one of those items. And by the way, I want to thank the council for reviewing this. I really do.
I'm sorry, I don't know where you could see me. Unfortunately, this is not the time for us to have this conversation. We're opening it to, but at the end of the meeting, if you stay with us, you'll have a chance to make that comment.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Okay. Right now, we're fielding comments or questions about this one ordinance.
I thought we were. I didn't realize there wasn't discussion about the parking, so I'll bag out and wait for the end.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? I see none. Okay, I will make a motion that we close public comment and adopt 2026-1.
Second,
Ms. DeNovo?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. Okay. Moving to communications. We are naming a Shade Tree Commission alternate 2 appointment, and that is Mr. Michael Heidelberg, the superintendent of schools here in Bradley. So very excited to have Mr. Heidelberg join the Shade Tree Commission. Another communication is that the Environmental Commission chair appointment is none other than our own Mr. John Weber. He will assume the role of chair. And then we have finance committee appointments that will include myself, Matt Doherty, our Borough Administrator, Mitchell Karp, fellow colleague on the council, and Jeanette Larison, our interim CFO. And that concludes communications. We'll move to resolutions. We have a number of consent agenda resolutions. Most of us have had opportunities to discuss or ask questions. Are there any questions or items you'd like to discuss separately?
I don't want to discuss separately, but I do just want to thank the firefighter Eric Schreiber and the Deputy Chief Evandor and Lieutenant Lesson for serving borough as volunteers in such an important role.
Okay, great. Anything else to vote out separately or discuss separately? Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve consent agenda resolution items 2026-37 through 2026-46.
Second,
Ms. DeNoble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gubatosi.
Yes. Individual resolutions, item 2026-47. This is mediation. Oh, okay, I've already voted on this and we tabled, sorry.
Okay.
I did not cross it out. But item 2026-48, approval to apply for a $250,000 grant through the New Jersey Department of Human Services, which might be available to support our senior wellness program. Any comments or questions about this one?
Excited.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a huge opportunity for our seniors. All right, I'll make a motion that we approve 2026-48.
Second,
Ms. DeNoble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gubatosi.
Yes. 2026-49, approval of an increase to summer camp fees. I believe our rec director, Courtney Pappas, has put forward an increase of 10% on our summer camp fees. Any comments or questions?
I just want to include the fact that because we have a shared service with Neptune City, that Neptune City also is accepted into the program as a resident rates.
Resident rates.
Mhm.
In other words, they too will get a 10% increase.
Everyone gets a 10%.
Everyone.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve 2026-49.
Second,
Ms. DeNoble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gubatosi.
Yes. 2026-50, this is permitting back in time cafe signage within Riley Park for 2026. This is a resolution, more or less, we've approved this every year for the last few years because of the unusual circumstances of the placement of the Back in Time Cafe. They have a Main Street address, but they are set way back from Main Street. They can't really advertise like anyone else could in their window. We are tweaking this. In the past, we've approved it basically for all year long. However, the proprietors' hours, or I should say seasons, have changed. For example, Back in Time is not open right now.
Yeah, they close in November.
Okay, and we did not want the sign to remain out all year long, so what the main amendment to this approval is that the sign will be permitted as long as the establishment's open for, that season. They can be there overnight, that they don't have to physically be open, but it has to be during the season that they're open. Other than that, any questions or comments? Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve 2026-50.
Second,
Ms. DeNoble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gubatosi.
Yes. 2026-51, awarding a non-fair and open professional service contract appointment for Fair Share Housing Attorney Andrew Bayer Esquire. Mr. Bayer came highly recommended by Jennifer Beam. We unfortunately lost our prior Fair Share Housing Attorney, passed away unexpectedly. And he was working very closely with Ms. Beam, our planner. Ms. Beam highly recommended Mr. Bayer, and he did submit a proposal, and we've all had a chance to review that. Any questions or comments? Okay, I will make a motion that we approve 2026-51, awarding a non-fair and open professional contract to Mr. Bayer.
Second,
Ms. DeNoble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gubatosi.
Yes. 2026-52, we are naming a handful, 3, I believe, awarding non-fair and open contracts for alternate tax appeal attorneys. Very similar to what we did in the world of engineering, where we created a pool of engineers. We're gonna have a pool of 4 tax attorneys, and this is something that I've covered with our tax assessor, Eric Aguirre. So any comments or questions? Mr. Aguirre will be able to use these as these teams.
Great.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve 2026-52.
Second,
Ms. DeNoble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gupatozzi?
Yes. 2026-53, awarding a non-fair and open professional service contract appointment for municipal grant writing services to the Aubrey Group LLC. Mr. Carp and I had the chance to meet with a number of, with the principal and Sarah Aubrey and one of her lieutenants. This is a an independent consulting firm that specializes in grant writing and grant application drafting. And one of the things that the borough has really struggled with is finding grant application dollars for public safety services. So for example, the police, right now, we're trying to secure $300,000 or $400,000 of funding for radios. Grants are not readily available. We're working through our legislators there. Fire and first aid also struggle to get grant funding. The borough's done, in my opinion, a wonderful job, including the prior administration, in securing grant funding for a lot of our infrastructure, Sylvan Lake, sewers, Main Street. But we've really, I think, come up short with public safety. So this particular firm specializes in public safety grant writing. The terms are fairly reasonable, $2,500 a month. That annualizes to $30,000, but just one significant grant will pay for itself many times over. So any comments or questions?
Yeah, I must say that I was incredibly impressed by their knowledge, the access to, so I know that I've always wondered, like, how do people find out about the different grants that are out there? Well, that's their job. They have access to many different types of databases. They have a huge research team to get things and have access to things that we never thought of. I know that the first aid squad had talked about their frustration where, yeah, I just seem to be beating my head against the wall because I keep on making the same submission year after year. And I always get denied because, well, we're a small town. So for whatever the reason, they just always ran up against these bulkheads. And now this professional services team of people will really be able to get the grants that were just unavailable to us before.
Yeah, and I think, Chief, you obviously participated in the interview, and I heard good feedback, not only from you, but from fire and first aid. So, I'm pretty excited about the opportunity to work with these guys. So we have we yet approved this one? We did, right?
No.
Oh, okay. I already crossed it out.
We'll talk to.
That's on me, so.
Right.
So I'll make a motion that we approve 2026-53.
Second,
Ms. DeNoble?
I wish we found these people 10 years
Yeah.
ago. It would have been great. Yes,
Ms. Greenblatt?
very excited.
Yes. Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gupatozzi?
Yes.
And I will say that they are starting off just with our public safety. However, that doesn't preclude them in the future from doing other work.
Lots of
Yeah,
opportunities.
lots of
That's
opportunities,
really
yeah.
exciting.
No, and on that note, just again, to educate our public a little more about what we're learning as we go. This woman came highly recommended to us at her firm, but she also specializes in not-for-profits. So, both our fire and our first aid are not-for-profits. But their expertise is such that they've worked with, and I think we may evaluate if we can expand our services with them. They work with serve all nonprofits affiliated with Bradley Beach that align with Bradley Beach's mission. So not only will they already be able to work with fire and first aid, but to the extent there are other nonprofits that support Bradley Beach's vision, we might be able to hold them at the end of this and the end of the action. So I hope we're good next to come. Anyway, let us move to item 12 on the agenda, announcements. There are none. Oh, I'm sorry. There is a bill, it's 2026-54 for January 20.
Oh. The owls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I unplugged him by accident, so.
Okay, they'll be chirping along.
Owl's hooting at us, okay.
He's hooting at you, he's.
I'm sorry, I almost skipped the bill list. Any comments or questions on the bill list?
All my questions were answered, thank you.
Yeah, can I just say that behind the scenes, this is like really my first time of going through this, and what the public doesn't see is the amount of paddling that's going on, beneath the surface, that, any comments or questions, and we kind of sit up here and we're like, no, we're all good. And I always felt that it's like, doesn't anybody have anything to say, or don't they have any comments? But that happens all throughout the weeks leading up to the meeting, as we're reviewing all of the documentation that Erica is curating and sending to us and getting to all the revisions. So there's so much work that goes on. And it's also difficult to discuss because we can't discuss it all together because we'll have a quorum. So I have to congratulate you, Mayor, on just having to deal with the same questions from us individually. And that's incredibly time consuming,
And he's very patient.
Yes.
The time and the patience. We appreciate that, yes.
Well, it's really great that you guys are asking all these questions, because it just shows how much you're into serving our residents and understanding what it is you're voting on. So thank you for the questions. I also, while we're talking about bill list, I want to call out Kathy Lippett, one of our critical employees who worked diligently and kind of urgently at the end of last week to get this pulled together in time for us tonight. So she was working from home to make sure we had that done in time. So anyway, all that said, I will now make a motion to approve 2026-54.
Second,
Mr. Noble,
thank you, Kathy, and yes.
Ms. Greenblatt.
Yes.
Mr. Cart.
yes.
Mr. Nowicki excused, Mayor Gubatosi.
Yes. Item 12 on the agenda, announcements, there are none. Item 13A, administrator report, there is no administrator tonight. He is at the governor's ball, I believe. Lobbying for grant funding for the borough. 13B is mayor and council reports. Can I start with the council president?
Oh, absolutely. That sounds great. Just want to pull this up real quick. So I'm going to start with the Board of Ed had their reorg meeting, and congratulations to Dr. Franks. She's now again the president, and they have a new vice president, I'm sorry, Noelle Weinberg. Congratulations to her, and thank you, Bridget Devane, for your service as the previous vice president of the Board of Ed. They have a meeting tonight, so I will be reporting on that at the next meeting. Shade Tree, they had a meeting on the 7th of January, and they have a new chairperson, and that also is Noelle Weinberg. And I also work with Noelle Weinberg at the food pantry, and she's on the board, and she's the lead of the food pantry. And it's people like this that really make a difference. I mean, we have so many wonderful volunteers in Brownlee Beach, and someone like this they always say, if you want something done, ask a busy person. And this is a busy person, and she does get it done. So thank you to Noelle. She's now the chairperson, and thank you to Larry Bagwell for all your years of service for the Bradley Shade Tree Commission. And there, as we said earlier, there's a new member, Michael Heidelberg. That might sound familiar because he's the principal and superintendent of the Bradley Beach Elementary School. So we welcome him. And I have it circulating in the audience. They did a 2025 recap, and it's just a few interesting facts. 34 trees were removed throughout the borough, but 52 trees will be planted to replace them. 6 Honor Me applications, 35 wishing tree applications. They received a grant for $40,000. So this year in 2026, we'll look at over 80 trees being planted. They continued to expand the pollinator point, which is on 2nd Avenue. So a lot of wonderful things. And of course, we were named for the 15th year in the row, Tree City USA. So again, these are wonderful volunteers doing great work for our borough and maintaining and expanding our tree canopy. And in addition to that, what do I have next? Oh, tourism. All right, February is a big month. The borough of Bradley Beach is set to transform into a vibrant cultural hub as the second annual Winter Jazz Festival returns this February. Spanning 5 days, the festival celebrates world-class artistry, community spirit, and the rich heritage of jazz. From February 3rd to February 7th, 2026, over 45 professional musicians will perform across multiple venues, ranging from intimate local establishments to the festival's main stage, which is Bradley Beach Elementary School. The weekend concludes with a marquee performance by NEA Jazz master and renowned trombonist, Delfeo Marsalis. Fun fact, I play trombone. But I'm not in the festival, nor would they want me. Okay, the Bradley Beach Winter Jazz Festival is rooted in a commitment to uplift artists, inspire audiences, and strengthen community bonds. Its mission is to support arts and culture, celebrate Black History Month, and provide a vital platform for both legendary icons and emerging local talent, all while driving engagement with local businesses. All weekday prelude events, February 3rd to the 5th, offer free admission and no cover charge. They'll be at UVA, they'll be at the Elbow Room, and they'll also be at Darcy's. All access passes for the weekend events at the Bradley Beach Elementary School are February 6th and 7th are available for $25. For the full schedule of events and to purchase tickets, please visit the Borough of Bradley Beach website, bradleybeachnj.gov/tourism department. So we all can look forward to that. And again, this is Amy Baker. She's the chairman or the chairperson of the tourism, and she does an amazing job. And this is the second year, and they have over, if I remember, $5,000 in sponsorships, and they also have $3,000 in ticket sales already. So the tickets are going fast. So if you're considering it, I would say go ahead and get a ticket. And that concludes my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman Greenblatt.
Okay, so the Arts Council met Monday, January 12th. I really have nothing to report at the moment from the Arts Council, but we anticipate that the CoStar will have an article on the new Arts Council that will be a feature in this week's edition. No new date has yet been set for the next meeting, but that should be forthcoming. The Fletcher Lake Commission met January 15th. It was the first meeting of the year. It was a reorganization meeting, and the commission voted on its leadership with Anthony DeMeo once again as its chairperson. Bradley Beach is authorizing the payment for goose remediation, which we just approved for 2026, and it will act as the agent for the Lake Commission with Neptune Township. Commission member Bill Grafton will be reaching out to the area towns who run aerator lights to ascertain effects on the lake's biosphere, as well as Clonet, which runs water sample testing for Fletcher Lake. The one set of lights approved by council were installed at the end of this past summer season, so they may need a longer term seasonal analysis. The next commission meeting is scheduled for February 12th, 6 p.m. in this council chamber. And I have a recreation committee report, which is somewhat lengthy because now with our shared service with Neptune City, recreation offers really a lot of programs for the community. So the Recreation Committee met Monday, January 12th. The senior club's next meeting is Wednesday, January 28th, noon to 3 at the banquet hall this month. Usually at the Biazzi Center, but I believe that the upcoming meeting is at the banquet hall. And also please be advised that I think there's been an error in the calendar. So the senior club regularly meets on the fourth Wednesday of each month. Mahjong Open Play runs every Friday from 1 to 3 at the Biazzi Center. Senior Game Time Tuesdays runs the first and third Tuesday of each month. Bring your own game and join friends at the Biazzi Center. And the following recurring events all take place at the Neptune City Community Center, and they're part of our shared service agreement. So some of these are new opportunities for Bradley Beach residents. The Glitter and Glue Crew, geared for ages 2 to 3, meets every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 11:30 a.m. to 12:15. Ballroom Dancing for intermediate dancers meets every Wednesday at 5:45 p.m. There is a fee of $12 per person at the door for each session. Open indoor pickleball runs Saturdays at 10 a.m. Senior strength training runs every Monday morning, 10 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. Step aerobics, all levels welcome, Mondays and Thursdays, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. These are free events. Senior game day at the Neptune City Community Center runs Wednesdays at noon. And quilting for those who already know how to quilt and would like to continue a project with other quilters in a larger space. They meet on Mondays at 5 p.m. And then finally, at the Neptune City Community Center, table tennis or ping pong is offered every Wednesday evening, 5 to 8 p.m., and it's an open play situation. Mark your calendars for Radio Bingo, March 21st, 6 p.m. at the Fire Hall, featuring the music of the 90s. Tickets will go on sale in February, and they can be purchased through the Ladies Auxiliary or emailing Courtney Pappas. The Memorial Day Vendor Fair along the Beach Promenade, which runs Saturday and Sunday of that weekend, applications are currently out. As an early bird incentive, the art, craft, and retail vendors will receive a 25% discount if they register before January 31st. There's a link on the borough website to Community Pass for vendor registration. So you have to kind of look on the website and go either to the forms and documents where you can find the application. And that's probably the best way to access it at this point, or go to the May calendar. Construction continues at the rec site with the completion of paver work. The playground and all new surfaces are complete with court striping planned for the end of winter. There's still limited public access to the facility. A grand reopening will take place in early spring. The rec committee's next meeting is Monday, February 9th, 6:30 p.m. at the Neptune City Community Center. And that's my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman, Councilman Sharp, Mitch. Councilman Mitch.
Got it. Now, if I go on too long, it's because I'm doing calls as well.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
And also, this is really my first opportunity to meet all of the people from all the various committees that I met with. So previous week, I met with Pam Valentine, who's our Director of Community Development, and Allison Farrell, the department's administrative assistant. And for those of you who don't know this department, I always call it the construction office. Community development comprises zoning, construction, code enforcement, as well as the office of the fire marshal. This office handles the review of applications for the issuance of zoning, constructions, dumpsters, storage pods, street openings, and sidewalk permits. They also issue certificates of continued occupancy and perform all the inspections. They also have staff members that investigate reports of code violations and other issues within the borough. We recently hired a full-time code enforcement officer. This had previously been a part-time position, and the department has experienced a tremendous improvement in the turnaround times for the inspections, as well as the ability to monitor the town for compliance. For the Environmental Commission, I met with them last week, and their new chairperson, our esteemed John Weber. Their first order of business was to begin to plan how to make the various Bradley Beach events during 2026 greener. Last year, they were able to arrange less waste at the events. They were actually composting pumpkins from a pumpkin chunking event, as well as they contributed to installing water filling stations at the firehouse, saving them a tremendous amount of money, as well as saving the environment. They'll also be beginning to work on environmental events during the year, such as knotweed pulling and participating in clean ocean action events. And they meet the first Monday of each month. For the first aid department, for the operational period ending January 20th, 2026, the squad reported to 24 day calls and 21 night calls for a total of 45 calls. 33 were for medical and 12 were for fire. There were no out-of-town mutual aid requests. The squad responded in support of our police department and the United States Coast Guard to a report of a 74-foot pleasure vessel taking on water northeast of the Shark River Inlet with 3 people aboard. And the squad had responded with both ambulances and our beach rescue vehicle and stood by until the Coast Guard recovered all 3 people. Congratulations are in order for their member Deanna Howe on her graduation from nursing school as a registered nurse. And lastly, the squad joined the fire department in a joint recruitment presentation and luncheon on New Year's Day, resulting in 3 new applications for membership. Squad fulfilled 100% of their assignments for this operational period. And they're always looking for volunteers. They offer free training for qualified individuals. Anyone wishing to volunteer at First Aid Squad applications can be found on the borough's websites. And they're also accepting applications for their cadet program for young people who are 16 to 18 years old who are interested in serving our community. I had the chance to meet with the fire department as their liaison, and I guess first, I don't know if you ever get too old to walk into a firehouse, and it was all I could do to ask to crawl into the trucks and wear the uniforms. It was pretty incredible. I will tell you that the dedication that the First Aid Squad and the fire department as volunteers that they have towards their responsibilities in Bradley Beach is immeasurable. But as for the stats for the month ended December 31st, 2025, the fire department responded to 5 day calls and 6 night calls for a total of 11. 6 were fire alarm activations, 2 were mutual aid assists into Asbury Park, 2 were carbon monoxide alerts, and 1 was a natural gas leak. The department also conducted trainings on confined space operations and hose operations, and the department also carried out the annual Santa Run. There were no requests for mutual aid from other fire departments, and they fulfilled 100% of their assignments for that operational period. Happy to report that the department inducted their new firefighter into their ranks. Congratulations, Eric. And also happy to report that our department acquired a much needed gently used fire hose from the fire department that we got the fire truck from last year using donated funds. And they got about $18,000 worth of hoses for $750. They also too are always looking for volunteers for the fire department and offer free training to qualified individuals. Anyone who wishes to volunteer may inquire through the borough's website. For our police department, a local man was arrested and charged with defiant trespassing after patrols were dispatched to a local business establishment for a subject causing a disturbance. This individual had been noticed against trespass by the business on an earlier date due to similar unruly and aggressive behavior and was arrested for same. Another local man was arrested and charged with hindering apprehension and several motor vehicle violations following a traffic stop. The subject provided false information as to his name and personal identifiers in an attempt to hide the fact that he has suspended driver's license due to several previous motor vehicle infractions. And I'd also like to take a moment to invite the entire community to our upcoming Borough Blood Drive, which will be held on Tuesday, February 17th. The drive will take place at the firehouse between 11:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. As we all know, blood supplies often run low during the winter months, and your donation can quite literally save a life right here in our area. So to keep things running smoothly and avoid long wait times, we're just asking residents to register in advance. Go to the borough's website, just look for the blood drive link on the homepage. And thank you, and we hope to see everybody giving blood on the 17th. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carp. Okay, I got, you think that was long? I've got one 3 times as long from the library. I'm not going to read it. But I kept scrolling down. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to summarize. Number 1, our library is just ridiculously, incredibly thorough. Go to their website, please, because I'm not gonna do it justice in this meeting. But go to their website. They have daily programs, they have weekly programs, they have all kinds of programs for little kids and toddlers. I'm gonna read off a couple of them quick. Not gonna give you anywhere near the detail I was given, but they have a puzzle exchange through the end of this month, through the end of January. If you have gently used jigsaw puzzles, please bring them to the library. They recycle them among, kids and attendees. There are weekly programs where little kids can play with Legos and other games on Mondays. They do crafts for kids on Thursdays, every Monday, every Thursday. Fridays are read and play for little kids at 9:15 in the morning. The list really goes on and on. There's landscape drawing, there's chair yoga, there's all kinds of things. It's really quite fascinating. I will say this though, right now, the library has certain areas within the library closed for repairs. So if you have attempted to go there, the first floor is largely out of commission. Right now, you can't use computers, you can't use the printers. You can still borrow books. They have an online catalog. You can get a lot of borrowing, a lot of supplies from online catalog. They won't have newspapers, but they do have online access to Asbury Park Press and New York Times. And their Fourth Avenue book drop is closed at the moment, but the Hammond Avenue book drop is open. So again, just keep in mind, there's so much out there. Please get to their website and just check it out, especially if you have little children or grandchildren. You could spend many happy hours there with those kids. Otherwise, there's been a ton going on broadly around affordable housing. There were a couple of things, as I mentioned earlier, that we were hopeful to get on the agenda today. But Bradley, as of this weekend, really as of Friday, we were told we do have a settlement in place with affordable housing, which is great news. Again, some typos precluded us from, in the agreement, precluded us from approving it tonight. But you know, I want to tip my hat to Jen Beam, our planner, actually the chairman of our land use board, Mr. Cohen, helped draft some of the overlay zones. So thank you, TJ, for that. But that's a very significant accomplishment. We'll take a formal bow once we can actually approve the settlement. But I just wanted to let everybody know that that's coming, and that's really good news. Other than that, that really concludes my comments for tonight. And I will move to item 14 on our agenda, which is opening it up to public comment. Any comments or questions from the public? Yes, this lady.
Hello. I'm Jean Leahy from 419 Clark Place, and I represent the seniors of Bradley Beach. We have a senior organization which has been in existence for our 33rd year. This year, though, we finally made the town calendar. We made it last year too, and this year too, and they put the wrong dates. So it is what it is. But we meet the 4th Wednesday of every month, except in the summer. I just wanted to clear that up. And we started with 14 and we're up to like about 35 come. Now, I hear that if you applied for a grant, and I think that you applied today for a permanent grant maker or producer would be a very good thing. And I want to know if anyone knows if it was filed, because the grant for the seniors had to be filed by the 13th of January. And if it wasn't filed, it isn't worth talking about because we won't get it. So does anyone know if it was filed?
I don't believe it was filed. I believe we approved the drafting.
Filed by the state. And
well, that's the first I'm hearing.
And so whatever. So that it has many questions about being that where it supposedly would be shared with Neptune City. So that makes things, you know, the thing is, if we do get a grant and the seniors that live in town should be on the committee to give their suggestions because we live here. And we have done, you know, it is all. The last thing is, I have lived here for 26 years. I like this neighborhood. I like the people. We got very amazing people. But I want you people on the council to give the town people first. We're big on tourism. Don't sell our property. Give us our sewers and not sell them out. Just remember, we're here and we do both. And we have, like the mining, we have many investors. And they are just what they are, investors. They're not neighbors. They're just there for themselves. And so, which is a different nature of clientele. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to me. Have a happy new year. And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Leahy, I'll look into the grant application. That's the first I've heard that you believe there was an earlier deadline.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other comments or questions? Yes, sir, Mr. Shep.
William Shue, 110 Fifth Avenue, Bradley Beach. On January 10th of this year, we lost one of our beloved resident, George Stanley Albert, a Korean War veteran. The reason I'm bringing this up is for the simple fact that his name is placed as serving in the Vietnam War and not in the Korean War on that wall right there, the Bradley Beach Honor. This request to correct his status has been mentioned to previous administrations, not only by him and members of his family, but also by many of his friends. I won. It is amazing how during election time, people will come knock on his door asking for a vote, yet they will not correct his status on that wall for many years. George took much pride in serving his country in the Korean War. I'm asking in this public forum to please correct his service record. Give George and his family the honors that he so deserves as being a Korean War veteran. Please.
And Mr. Shep, this is the first I'm hearing this, but you're saying, what are you asking us to do? Put his name
On the Korean War.
On the
He's
Korean
listed
War.
as a Vietnam War veteran.
I'm not,
That's it.
yeah, I'm learning this obviously for the first time, but somehow strike his
That's why
name
I'm
from.
bringing it up in this form, because
Appreciate that.
it was mentioned to Larry. Person to person,
Mhm.
deaf ears. Was mentioned to Ingolstadt, person to person, deaf ears. And so I decided, instead of mentioning to you, like I said, I wanted to talk to you. But instead of talking to you in private, I'm gonna bring it up in public so that everybody knows. Please
Public is fine.
correct it. And we have, here's another thing. You have that right there, Wall of Honor. You have one over there missing a lot of names. You have another one over there missing a lot of names. You know.
You
let's
realize,
take the
Mr. Shep,
money-
yeah.
Let's take the money and spend it wisely, correct all this, you know.
Yeah, and if you would be so good, you apparently know what names are missing. This is the first you've brought this to our attention. So do you have the names that should be included on these appropriate panels?
So I mentioned,
But do you have the names?
not all of them, not World War II. That's
Well,
way
I mean, I don't know
over-
how long these have been hanging. No, I don't know how long these have been hanging on our walls, but again, we will absolutely correct them if someone would give us the information or tell us where to find
That's
it.
something that we would have to go over.
Okay, well, thank you for bringing it to our attention. Certainly for Mr. Alpert, we'll get right on that.
Thank you.
Other comments or questions from this room? Yes, sir.
Hey, Bob West, 518 Newark Avenue. Just a quick question, comment, reference to 2026-1, 801 Main Street. This ordinance was just to correct it, so we can now get four units. I think that question might be more aimed at the land use board. Is there going to be, as far the developer's still gonna have to go through regular channels as to what this is gonna look like? The plans been approved, that's still down the road.
No, actually, and I know you're a brand new appointment to the land use board. The answer is no, in terms of what it looks like and everything, that's already been approved a number of years ago. This is defining a new overlay zone.
So just to make, but
Yeah.
as far as the size and scope of this thing, that's already been.
Well, I'm gonna turn to Mr. Cohen, who's the chair, but I don't know, has the application been renewed?
Well, this settlement, which is page 4, is the template for what the developer wants and what the town agreed to. It's still subject to site plan from the land use board. So a full site plan based upon the height, the parking, the number of units, that will all come to us whenever the developer decides, but the zoning is now in place.
Anything will look better than what is presently there.
Yeah, I don't sit down at Uber anymore because it's pretty ugly there.
Yeah, to your point, the parking was modified to the 1.5.
Yes,
But I'm told it's gonna remain in its same footprint and height, so
we'll see.
that's what we're
Yeah,
told.
we'll see. I mean, it is 48 feet high.
Yep.
It is 24 units. Now, what that appropriation of units is, we don't know.
Yep.
The layout for the parking, his engineers will have to submit that. So we'll get a potential review from the land use board, but you know, the rules of zoning are in place that, you know, we will use as a template.
Very good.
That's more like there. All right.
Thank you, Bob. Other comments or questions in the room? Okay, let me turn. Yes, sir. Thank you for waiting so patiently.
Gloria.
You, like,
He's getting there.
Just unmute.
yeah.
Oh, we got.
He's getting there.
We can't hear you.
He's
Unmute.
getting there.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
still
You're
muted.
still muted, Gloria. Yeah, we can't hear you, no,
Can't hear us.
no, you have to unmute.
Can you unmute?
He said he's trying.
Oh, he's trying.
Oh,
Are
okay,
you reading lips, TJ?
okay.
Oh, he needs permission to unmute?
Yeah. Who's got permission?
Michelle,
Michelle, can you unmute him, please?
right, I'm Mr.
Am I unmuted? Oh, good. Thank you. Can you hear me all? Burrow, I'm still muted by you. You muting me.
We can't hear you.
Yes.
He can't hear us?
I hear you, but you muting me.
No, we can hear you.
Oh, you can. Okay, good. I'm sorry. Anyway, look, I just wanted to tell you guys, I really appreciate the fact that you adjusted the special parking permits and you heard, you know, non-resident speaking taxpayers. And I think you are to be commended for that. And I really appreciate that on behalf of my wife. The only question I had is that you adjusted one of the New Jersey permit options. I don't know which one was, but 9B3 and 9A3 both state you need a New Jersey permit. So if you would review that and make sure all the or other state requirements are out. You know, you got it. Okay, good. Well,
During we made that edit. We added or equivalents from other states.
for both of those sections.
Definitely in A3. What was the other section?
9B3.
9B3.
Right.
I don't have that. What am I, let's see.
9.
9-B3. I'll pull it back up again.
Good. Well, you know what,
Yeah, just take out the New Jersey stuff and make it other equivalent after you read through, and that's all good. And again, I'm just wondering when the paper will be out for the doctor's note or not note, but
it's available now.
Oh, it is. Is it on the website?
No, but I don't know if it's posted yet, but it is available. If you could contact Borough Hall.
Okay, good.
Michelle Wiley.
And then the original application still applies, correct?
What do you mean the original?
We submitted an original application
For this year, for 2026?
Yes.
Yes, some have not yet submitted and others have. If you've already submitted it, we can begin the processing once you complete the attestation form.
Okay, great. And I really, again, want to thank you all for considering this, and I think your compromise is fantastic, and both my wife and I really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate the feedback you gave us. It's not often we go as far as introducing an ordinance and then, removing it, but your feedback was very, very powerful and we appreciate it. So thank you.
Okay, guys, have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Say hi
Yeah.
to Chloe.
I will.
Are there any other questions? I don't see any. Okay, I will make a motion. Well, we'll close public comment and I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Adjourn. Eric, 7:30.
Yeah.
No.